The Transport Board reviewing contracts with cutting expenditure in mind. Speightstown gearing up for the Sandals effect. And coming up in sports, Raymond Reefer gets among the wickets in the second warm-up match against the English.
Credible, balanced, committed. This is the CBC Evening News.
Good evening, I'm Shane Jones, leading the news at 7. The Transport Board has slashed a sizable chunk from one of its contracts as the cash-strapped entity seeks to cut expenditure. Board Chairman Gregory Nichols made the revelation as the state-owned entity hosted its first ever bidders conference. Sharika Griffith has that story.
The Transport Board has already saved $1 million for 2019. Chairman of the board, Gregory Nichols, says this was done through a decision late last year to renegotiate a 3-year contract for third-party insurance, even though it was not set to end until 2020. It will now be seeking to do this with all other suppliers.
We will enter into discussions with all existing contracts with service providers and suppliers, because while these contracts might have been created in April or May last year and will last for 2 or 3 years to bind Transport Board, it is our view that we have to secure the best deal for Transport Board in all of the contractual arrangements that we have with all of our service providers. And we will not be doing anything to jeopardize anyone's business, but at the end of the day, we must get the best deal for Transport Board.
Mr. Nichols was addressing a room full of the major players in the local automobile and renewable energy sectors gathered for a bidders conference. The board is seeking to update its aging fleet of buses with approximately 120 to 180 electric buses through a profit-sharing partnership with the private sector. However, the cost of acquiring the buses and requisite charging stations will be the responsibility of the successful bidder.
Although government may have wanted to go there and buy buses, we found ourselves in a situation where we cannot just add any more debt to what is there. So that we can't even do an arrangement where we partner with you in terms of acquiring the finance, because if there's any liability, government, it will fall back to government. It will trigger a default in the IMF program.
Mr. Nichols also revealed that the board has created a new master plan, which should be sent off to the Ministry of Transport Works and Maintenance by the end of the work week before it's brought before Cabinet next week. The plan identifies a number of options for expenditure reduction in the short term, as well as a longer-term structural transformation of the Transport Board from a loss-making operation to an efficiently run, financially stable, subsidy-free public transport service provider. Sharika Griffith, CBC News.
Thank you, Sharika. Government is moving forward with plans for the divestment of community centres. Prime Minister Mia Motley told Parliament on Tuesday that people must be empowered at the level of the community so they will be in charge of their own facilities.
We have to empower people at the level of the community again to be able to be in charge, Mr. Speaker, of what goes on in their parish or their community. That's what a magistrate for a district was about, that they could keep order, and they bind you to order on your own recognizance in a community. And similarly, the community groups, and that's why I'm so angry. How can a government move from spending $5 million a year in training for young people and then take that same money and spend it in youth camps, summer camps, and Christmas camps, and Easter camps?
Ms. Motley also revealed that procurement legislation will be reformed.
This is not a commitment that we made only in an election. We have been talking about this for years, many years on that side. That we now have legislation that affirms in us the right to provide for the differently able, the opportunity to be the beneficiaries of 1% of government's procurement. And for those who say 1% is minimal, let us remind you that for most of the people who are differently able, we are talking about contracts like Canaan.
Free public Wi-Fi is on the cards for Bridgetown, although it's a challenge for the most advanced global societies. Minister of Innovation, Science and Smart Technology, Senator Kay McConney, says government is committed to the initiative. The free Wi-Fi will form part of Phase 1 of a Smart Cities initiative. Phase 1 is being dubbed Smart Bridgetown.
This project will also see the implementation of smart parking solutions and interactive mobile applications to enhance our tourism product and increase visitor spend.
Sandals Beach's project in Speightstown is slowly taking shape, but some businesses and establishments in the north are not waiting until its completion to prepare for the influx of business. Rianne Phillips has more.
Work is already on the way at the site earmarked for Sandals Beaches. The multi-million-dollar project is expected to bring more activity to Speightstown once it is completed. With this in mind, several establishments are already making plans. One of them is the St. Peter's Parish Church.
We're looking to move towards the projection of the hymns and the service in the church. But if we're going to become relevant and Sandals opens beaches in 2 years' time, and you've got 2,500 people, mostly families, some of them will want to come to church. And you have to be creative. You have to catch up with the trends. You can't just push a book in their hand and tell them sit down and follow. You have to be able to show them things.
Across the street at Fisherman's Pub, owner Clement Armstrong is ready. And he is confident the town can handle the spin-offs from the hotel.
We prepare for 1980. You look around, see Fisherman Pub grew from the time I joined the pastor, thanks to Mr. Owen Alpha and Sir Paul Hartman, who put me on the committee. I have to thank them. I knew what Speightstown was going to. Speightstown is well organized. We have 5 side streets. Bridgetown don't have 5 side streets. We have more toilets in Bridgetown. We have over 100 stores in Speightstown. We have over 12 barbers, hairdressers. We got over 50-something businesses in Speightstown. I mean, Speightstown is already so long that we don't even worry. We're not sure it can come true, because the Esplanade could be a craft place that young entrepreneurs, just a craft. We still got about 5 food trucks sell all through Speightstown.
1,800 Barbadians will be employed at the hotel once it opens. Rianne Phillips, CBC News.
Mount Gay Distilleries has heaped high praises on the Barbados Fire Service for its response to and control of the fire at its St. Lucie plant yesterday, and to staff on site for their handling of the situation. Now, in a statement released this afternoon, the company says the fire, which started in a tank containing approximately 150,000 liters of non-aged rum, resulted in no damage to the rest of the distillery, which is up and running. The company's managing director, Raphael Grissoni, says the fire started in the early afternoon and the fire service responded quickly with 4 tenders, 2 special vehicles and 30 officers under the command of Deputy Chief Fire Officer Henderson Patrick, who used water and foam to control and contain the blaze. He took the opportunity to publicly give kudos to and thank those personnel for the great job done and to the company's staff for their management of the situation, including proper evacuation and the monitoring and sharing of information. Mr. Grissoni adds that the company is still carrying out investigations to determine what caused the fire.